more on these latest developments, we can go to Rana Mitter, ST Lee Chair in US-Asia Relations at the Harvard Kennedy School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Rana, thank you very much for joining us. Yoon Suk Yeol has been impeached, provisionally stripped of his presidential powers, but he's still fighting on. Is it the end for the South Korean president?
Oliver, I think it is. Because his own party has turned against him, it's impossible to see where his political backing would come from in terms of staying in the office. The only hope he has is that the Constitutional Court might actually decide that for whatever reason, his impeachment isn't valid. But frankly, the turn of political opinion from left and right in South Korea has been so comprehensive that actually it seems almost impossible to imagine that he could make it through an impeachment motion. So I think, although it will take a little bit of time, this is likely to be the end for him.
Yoon may have rescinded his declaration of martial law last week, but he's fairly unrepentant about it. And the very fact that members of his own party crossed the aisle in sufficient numbers to secure the impeachment suggests that he is isolated, and the opposition have called him delusional. Why do you think he's so insistent?
Because I think he knows that the political base of the right wing that has voted for him does have a certain element in it that is nostalgic for the days of the 1960s and 70s when, older viewers will remember, South Korea was still a dictatorship under leaders like Park Chung-hee. What he's done, I think, is to mistake the idea that there's a certain amount of old-fashioned nostalgia for maybe the kind of discipline and rigor and hard times got through of that period, to the belief that today's very robust democracy in South Korea is in some ways against the idea of what people want. So I think, to put it most simply, he's mistaken a nostalgic mood for a political ploy, and it's gone horribly wrong for him.
And Yoon is the third Korean president to be impeached after Roh Moo-hyun and Park Geun-hye. Several others have been convicted of corruption, and South Koreans have repeatedly shown that they value their democracy, as they certainly did last week, yet they tend to elect quite a number of rogues to the top job. Why is this?
I think it's something slightly different, actually, Oliver. And you can see that actually elsewhere in Asia, this is happening too. It's about polarization. Rather like the United States, rather like some European countries, left voters and right voters simply are finding less and less to agree on the middle. So Yoon was actually elected with a very small margin, I think about 1%, even less than 1%. And so all the people who are against him are viscerally against him. Something similar is beginning to happen in Taiwan, not too far away, which also was a territory that had a martial law history, has become a firm and robust democracy. But I must say, I was in Taiwan when this military rule bid happened in South Korea, and people there were talking strongly about whether they thought anything similar could ever be done in Taiwan. So that sense of polarization, it's strong in South Korea. You can find it elsewhere in Asia, even in the highly democratic territories.
Thank you very much for that, Rana Mitter, ST Lee Chair in US-Asia Relations at Harvard Kennedy School in Cambridge, Massachusetts.